Hello, everybody, and welcome back to YBI, where we discuss opinions and strategies on how to change your financial selves. We are back today and super excited about getting into the deep dive of credit for you guys. So, Roman, what is our roster for today?
All right, so we have our deep dive into credit. We have our different factors that affect your credit score and what those are comprised of. We're also going to get into secured versus unsecured debt and kind of getting those building blocks for credit. We also got a little thing about our giveaway going on today. We got Apple Podcasts now live and available, or websites up in there, and we'll get more into that later.
And all of those great things are coming to you guys right after this.
What is up to the YBI family and of investors? How are you guys doing, man? We just wanted to come to you guys real quick. Roman and myself, he's off working or doing something, but we needed to let you guys know that we've got a giveaway coming up. This giveaway is going to be just as lit as the last one. So if you were entered in that one, this one's going to be a little bit more difficult to get into. We need to make sure that you guys are liking our Facebook page, the Instagram, all that stuff, all the our YouTube page, all that stuff. Subscribe to that page, subscribe to our YouTube page. So number one, make sure that you are following us on one of the different social medias, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, we're on Twitter, and then you have to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel on YouTube, and then comment below on this video so we can make sure that we enter you into the video for the drawing next Thursday. Go ahead and check that out. Do those things right now. Pause the video, get it done, and we will get you guys into the drawing for next week. Best of luck. Super excited to be on Apple Podcasts. That's been a dream for us. It took a little bit of time for us to get enough following, to get enough this, that, whatever. But we are on Apple Podcasts. So not only can you check us out on Spotify and Google Play and Apple Podcast and Podcaster and our website and everywhere else, but we are finally live on Apple Podcasts. So check it out.
Okay, guys, I hope you guys are doing what the video just said, making sure that you guys are going to the different pages to like, subscribe, and then comment below so we can enter you guys into this giveaway to win you guys some money next Thursday, 1 week from today. Yes.
Yep.
Without further ado, let's hop right in to a deep dive in the credit. We gave you guys an assignment to go pull your credit report, which I did. I actually took some notes on my personal one, but this is my credit report from Equifax. And
Equifax,
I mean, I knew
Equifax. Is it Equifax or Equifax? I don't even know.
Equifax.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Liquidity?
I like
liquidity.
Equifax is what I'm going with. I don't know what you're going to go with, but Equifax is what I pulled. And I knew of everything that was on there pretty much. And mine actually isn't up to date with some of the things that I've paid recently that I talked to you guys about within the last couple of episodes. There were some things that I paid that haven't yet been reflected on my credit report because it does take some time for the credit companies to get back to all of the different creditors and let them know, hey, these are changes that were made, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, also to a point for that. Most times it takes about a week. Most times every credit report updates on Friday. But let's say you pay something off, it doesn't come off in 2 weeks. You can usually end up going directly to Equifax or TransUnion and just going on their website and filing a dispute for that claim. It doesn't affect your credit or anything, but it's just saying like, hey, I paid this off. And then usually they'll take it off pretty soon after that. Because it's happened to me where I've paid something off and they just still didn't take it off for like 2 months. I just went on the website, disputed it, and then it popped off like a couple of days later. And that's something you can always do if you don't see it happen within like a week or so.
Absolutely. Doing that is something that most people don't know that they can do. Making a dispute against any company, against anything that's on your credit report, you can actually make a dispute against any of them. And the creditors only have 90 days to actually respond to the dispute. If they don't, then they have to take it off of your credit report. Either way, even if it's supposed to be there, they only have 90 days to do that. I don't know if that's changed since COVID has happened, but before COVID happened, it was every 90 days you can make a dispute, and then the companies only have 90 days to actually respond and let you know if it's accurate, whatever is on your credit report is accurate or not, and then make any changes from there. But you do have the right to make any disputes for anything that looks funny on your credit report. So with that, moving forward, hopefully you guys were able to pull your credit report from annual free credit report. Annual
Creditreport.com.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll link that below. Hopefully you guys were able to do that. I just want to walk through just some of the first couple of pages so you guys have an idea of what it is that you're looking at. The first page is just an account summary, and we're going to get into what all of the factors are. But in terms of what's on here, it's your account summary. So it talks about your overall credit usage, the credit cards, how many credit lines you have open, how many retail cards you have open, home loans, installment loans. If your accounts were ever late, it has the average age of your account, your overall debt summary, so a big picture of what it is that, how much debt that you're in. And then it goes over some of your personal information, so where you've lived for the last couple of years. And then it gets into the individual accounts, accounts that are open, accounts that are closed, the type of account that it is, if you've ever been late since the credit has been open. It'll tell you all of that. But it's a very comprehensive record of each and everything that you've ever done in terms of financially and with credit. It gets into all of that. And then it goes into if there are any open collections. So a collection is just anything that you haven't paid. It's gone delinquent, which just means that you haven't paid it in a certain amount of time. Typically, it's like 90 days. I want to say it's 90 days for it to go into before it goes into collections. And then once it's in collections, it typically goes away from whoever the creditor is. It goes to a credit agency. The credit agency is now the person that you have to pay. Typically, they will charge you a ridiculous fee in order to pay it. So typically, you want to keep everything out of collections if possible. But it's possible that you have things on collections. Then it gets into inquiries. So all of the things that you have that have run hard inquiries against your credit. So it doesn't have soft inquiries on there because, as we discussed in the last episode, soft inquiries don't necessarily need to be pulled up on here because they don't affect your credit score. But the hard inquiries are up there. So how many that you've actually done in X amount of time is there. Public record is on there. And then it gets into your credit score. It gets into the different credit scores for each one of the different creditors. So TransUnion, Equifax, and the other ones, FICO and all that other stuff. So, and then it just talks about at a glance, what you're looking at, what it's looking like. So it's pretty straightforward, but it's a very comprehensive record. Mine was 22 pages of all of the different things that I've done. And like I said, I took notes on all of these things. If something didn't quite look right, I wanted to take some notes and dispute things and make sure that everything was looking okay. Mine was fine. For the most part, I understand everything on there. But if you guys have questions about how to do this, how to read any of this, the first thing that you should do is like and subscribe to the page, and then comment and let us know, or send us an email, and we'll absolutely reach back out to you, let you know what it is that you need to do to get a hold of this information and make sure that you're understanding it. So that is the very deep dive into this credit report, but we actually need to discuss all of the factors that are going into what's going on in this credit report. Yeah. So Roman, go crazy.
Yeah. So just what he just put was Equifax, whatever that one of the three big credit bureaus. So you have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. All three of those are a lot more detailed and advanced what they do, but a lot of people, what they usually see is with their FICO score. Like when you usually apply for an apartment or a credit card or even like a cell phone or things like that, most time they go directly for your FICO score, which is more or less your kind of consumer side of your debt. And that's what people kind of usually see. And that's pretty much, they weighed about the same on the other three big bureaus, but this is the first one most people kind of look at. So I'm going to just show you directly from their website how it kind of breaks down. All right, so see this right here. The biggest one is your payment history. If you're making late payments, if you're not paying on time, that's gonna hit you straight off the bat like hardest. After that, it's gonna be your amounts owed. I try to tell people to try to keep their credit cards at least 10% or below. I personally keep mine around 2 to 3% every month, but you definitely at least want to try to hit for that 10% or below. Goes above that, pay it off as soon as you can. because as soon as any of the credit bureaus see that your account's over 10% or even 20 or 30% or more, your points, your score is going to start going down like immediately. You miss one payment, it's going to go down like immediately.
Yeah, that's super important. If it's possible for you to never miss a payment, don't. Even if it's that you're just making a minimum payment, don't miss any payments. I mean, as you guys can see, that is a third of your credit history. So literally, if you have, I have 100% in terms of payment history. I've never missed a payment ever. Can't afford to do it because if you go to 99%, your credit score will drop. If you miss one payment, your credit score will drop. It's not necessarily that it's going to drop 15 points, but it might drop a point or two. But then if you go to 98%, I think it's 100%, you're in the excellent range. And then it's 99 or 98, you're in the okay range. And then from there, it drops more significantly. So making sure that you are not missing payments, even if you're only making minimum payments, do not miss any payments. It's very, very important, especially for your FICO score, the one that they pull. With Discover, my Discover card, they give you your FICO score every month or every
every pay cycle.
Every statement. Yeah, every statement.
Even banks now will give it to you. Almost every line of credit will tell you what your FICO score is. And then it also goes into the next two ones that are kind of this. New credit and credit mix are not the same, but it's related just in the simple fact of whatever new credit you get, you kind of want it to be a balance with your credit mix. You shouldn't just have like all credit cards. Sometimes you want to have a good line of it, maybe an auto loan, a home loan, personal loan. The credit bureaus do look at that, whether you just have a bunch of credit cards that you're not really paying, or if you have a home loan too, and an auto loan and things like that, because that shows more responsibility to them. If you could balance multiple different types of loans and accounts and cars, they're like, oh, well, this person is responsible. They know how to take care of things. Same deal with and also your new credit and your length of credit history. If you kind of want to have your accounts, once your credit score will start going up once you kind of go past like 2 or 3 years with an account. If all of your average accounts are like 2 years or below, it's not really going to help your credit so you have it open longer. The credit bureaus would like to see your accounts open for a lengthy period of time and that you keep those accounts. Closing your accounts will usually hurt your credit score, even if it's a card or a loan that you don't want, unless it's something that you paid off only around the same loan terms and agreement, then you're fine. If you pay it off early, it could hurt your credit score for a little bit 1 month, but then it'll boost it once it actually sees that it's paid off. So there's a balance there. You don't want to open up a bunch of new credit cards back to back. You don't want to try to apply for 3 new cards in 1 month. You want to have it spread out. You want to really just apply for new credit when you need it. You just want to go out there to try and get every credit card that you can get. Just get them as you need them. If you only can handle 1 or 2 credit cards, just keep 1 or 2 credit cards. Do not go out there trying to have all of them.
Yeah, and what's super cool is that Credit Karma actually has the ability to show you the projections of your credit score if you make any changes. So once you pull your credit score from Credit Karma, it'll say it'll give you some tips as to what you can do. It might say you need to keep your credit cards open longer, or you have your credit utilization is too high, and then it'll say, okay, if you pay off $1,200, how much will it affect your credit score? So if you actually pay off that $1,200, then your credit score might jump up 15 points. And it'll project those things and it'll show you exactly where you're going to be after you do certain things. So that's a good way to kind of monitor yourself and give yourself a goal as to, oh, I want to pay off these things, or I want to open another account, or I want to let account close, or I want to pay off a collection, or I want to do X, Y, Z. It'll also show you the negatives. So if you open another account, when you have, like 15 credit cards, if you open another credit card account, it'll show you how it will negatively affect your score. If you let an account go into collections, it'll show how that will negatively affect your score. So that's a good way to kind of project how you're going to how your credit score is going to be affected by doing certain things. So it's just a way to kind of see where you're going to be if you make a decision. So that can kind of help you in the long run.
Yep. And with that balance of credit is also versus your unsecured and your secured debt. Most credit cards, especially when you first get them, they're unsecured, which means you didn't have to put down a deposit or money up front to get that debt or that credit line. So that's how most credit cards work. You fill out your social security number, everything online, and give you a credit limit of 500 to 10 grand to 1,000, whatever. With a secured credit card, you actually place that money down for your line of credit. So if you place $500 down for that credit card, that's how much credit limit you have. On an auto loan or home loan or things like that, those are usually secured loans because you usually have to put a down payment. Now, if you don't place a down payment, then it's unsecured. That's why usually loans and things like that have a better interest rate and better APR and better payment plans for you, because you put a higher percentage down. If you can walk in anywhere and put 10 to 30% down, you'll see the differences between how much your payments get lower and how much your APR is lower, the more money you can put down on that. Because the bank is like, well, this is a more secured loan. We know we can get this money back. It's not of a high risk to them. So you definitely want to look at that and what cards you're opening, and we'll go over those different kind of cards at a different episode, and as those things as well.
Yeah, so for secured cards, my first credit card was a secured card for whatever bank that I don't even think is open anymore. But we put down $300. Typically is a minimum of $300. You can't go in there with $100 and try to get a secured credit card for that much. It's typically $300. But when you use that card, you take money, you pay whatever, you get McDonald's, whatever you're going to get. And then you end up paying that at the end of the month. And I think that it's 3 months of consistently paying that card off or paying it down to, a minimum balance, whatever it is, and not running it up super high. They will actually match that. They'll match your $300, and then you'll have a $600 credit limit. So that's an easy way for you to, put some money down, and then you're not losing any. You're pretty much buying credit at that point. You're buying credit and showing that you have the ability to be responsible with credit, to use it and then to pay it, and then they'll double it, and then that looks really good on your credit score. So now you don't have a $300 secured, you have a $600 unsecured credit card. So very, very good way to just, if you're starting out or if you're trying to build better credit, that's a really good way. You can do that with pretty much any bank. Just take $300, $500, $1,000, whatever it is, go into the bank, ask them for a secured credit card, fill out all the paperwork. They'll give you whatever that credit card is, and then you can just use that, be responsible with it, and then don't run it up after the fact. After they unsecure it, don't run it up. That's a major factor.
Yeah, but a good way to also do that is to go ahead and just hit the like button and leave a comment below. And
that's probably the best way, actually. And then we can continue to do what it is that we do here. Anything else that you wanted to get into? We good? We good.
Yeah. Y'all good
Cool.
out there? All you cool cats and kittens. Tiger King thing.
All right. Let's go with that. I never watched Tiger King.
Never watched Tiger King?
I never had the time. Man, we be working like crazy. Like yesterday was a 6 a.m. to, I worked 6 a.m. to 8, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I'm always running, trying to get stuff done, make better use of your time. People invest in self.
Do whatever. Like, yeah, even now, after the video, I started going back to the gym once the gym's just reopening. It's definitely been just good for me and good for my mental state and everything, just to get out and be more active and more physical and things like that. So, yeah, definitely, guys. And once again, credit is a tool. Do not overuse it. It will come back and bite you right in the butt if you use it bad. And you'll see it instantly once you start using it bad. Once you shoot over your credit utilization too high, or you miss that one payment, or even even looking for an apartment right now, I am looking for an apartment. You hit a hard inquiry and your credit score goes down just for doing that. And that's why people are usually like, if I'm trying to buy a house this year, I'm not going to try to apply for anything else because those hard inquiries will lower your score. You're only going to try to get that one.
Major. If you are planning on doing something with your credit, don't do anything else with your credit anytime soon. So many people feel like, oh man, I got good credit. My credit score just went up to 750. I want to go buy a house. And then they say, but I want to go buy a car first. No. Terrible move. Absolutely terrible move. One, that's 2 hard inquiries. And typically your car is going to come through before your house. Then what's going to happen with your house, they're going to change it because your credit score is going to change. They're going to change that whole loan. They're going to say, oh, your credit score went down from 750 to 680. So now you have an APR that's 18 points higher than what it used to be. Do not make any changes, especially when you're trying to buy a house. Don't make any changes to your current credit. Leave it as it is. Don't change nothing. Don't pull your credit report. Look at your score, but don't pull your credit report. Don't do any soft inquiries if you don't have to. Don't do any hard inquiries for sure. But just because you see that number, don't feel like you can go do a bunch of stuff. Don't. Leave it alone. Let it sit there. Let it continue to grow. Then when you have an 800, do what you want.
Do what you want. The world is yours.
Do what you want. Do what you want. Yeah, 800 is definitely the goal, is to get, in the high 700s and then get up to 800. I know several people with 800 credit scores, which is insane.
I just read an article recently where it was like once you get above 760 to 800 is, you can pretty much do whatever at that point as far as like credit acceptance. Between the 760 and 800. Once you get there, you definitely can start making those moves if you want to make a big acquisition for property or get an investment property or anything like that. Not to say you can't get one below that, but it's a lot easier when you have good credit, and especially when you walk in there with 10 to 30% down, especially with these interest rates right now. It helps things out a lot. And that's going to, once we coming up soon, we are going to actually get heavier into investing in stocks, bonds, real estate, and things like that. We just wanted you all to have a strong foundation in your own finances. You can't build a home or a castle before you have a strong foundation. Until you can have an emergency fund and have extra money saved up, you can't invest. You can't throw things anywhere if you can't even pay your bills this month. So we wanted to make sure that you all had that knowledge and had that groundwork before we started getting into heavier things. Because investments of any type are risky, and you could lose that money. I'm going to go over stories where I've lost money in investments. And those things you just don't want to go through if you didn't have money saved up to already pay your bills this month.
So first thing first is always make sure that you're going to be okay. That the way that I like to look at it is that the money that I'm investing is extra money. Mm-hmm. So if it's money that I never see again, I'm not going to go broke because of it. But if I happen to get some back plus some, that's fantastic. But I'm not using my last dollar to invest in the stock market. I'm not using my last dollar to go do anything like that. I'm not even using my last dollar to invest in myself necessarily. I have to have an emergency fund. I have to have a savings account. I have to be able to budget. I have to be able to do all of the key principles before I can use my money and stretch it a little bit further. So that's what we wanted to do here for the first couple of weeks, is just make sure that you guys have that strong foundation that Roman is talking about, and then be able to go into the really exciting stuff, the things that you guys can invest in, the things that you can be looking forward to, and all of that good stuff, which leads us to what we are getting into next week, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Like and subscribe and share, but next week we are going into taxes. Taxes are coming up, and we will be posting Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday will be with a CPA. She's going to come on and talk about so much in regards to taxes, because we know a little bit here and there. We've done some things, but she's going to do everything in regards to taxes. She is actually my tax accountant, so she knows what she's doing, because I haven't gotten audited yet. But yeah, taxes is coming up, so be excited, be ready for that. As we said, we have that giveaway coming next week. So make sure that you are doing all of the things that we said earlier. You are liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the YouTube page to make sure that you're entered for that. That one is going to be, who knows how much it's going to be? You don't know. We don't know. It's going to be nice though. It's going to be nice though. And it'll be a little bit something for you to go ahead and invest in yourself, invest in some stocks, some bonds, get yourself some gas, whatever it is. But we want to put some money in one of you guys' pockets. So we're going to do that next Thursday. So anything else, my brother?
Hey, we may be young. We may be broke. But we are always investing. Like, comment, share. Once again, we are up on Apple Podcasts now, and our website is live. So go check us out there for all your iPhone users. I am an Android user, whatever. And check us out. Peace.
Apple, let's go.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to Young Broken Investing. We just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the hosts. They're not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.